Ahead, cliff conversations and a race that can turn on a heel later in the show. Welcome to 3 Times Square this Friday from Reuters World Headquarters in New York. The fiscal cliff, the $600 billion in spending cuts and tax hikes due to take effect early next year. It's been the talk of Wall Street and Washington since the election. The Wall Street Journal reporting White House officials are in advanced internal talks to produce a plan to replace the sweeping spending cuts part of this. It comes ahead of a meeting later today with Republican and Democratic congressional leaders. Stock index futures turned positive after the story came out. Right now, stocks are all down. It's been a rough road this weekend since the election. The Nasdaq taking it the worst, down more than 2% since last Friday's close and nearly 6% since the election. Computer maker Dell attributing part of its troubles to the fiscal cliff, saying behavior of customers today is driven by the uncertainty. It's also dealing with the shift to tablets and the struggling economy. Quarterly profit falling nearly 50%. However, it forecasts sales growth of 5% in the current quarter. Shares near their 2012 low of $9.11 set earlier this month. The changing dynamics in the technology industry hurting Sears. The focus on tablets and smartphones hurting its sales of digital cameras and camcorders and pushing their prices down. That contributed to 3% decline in comparable store sales in the U.S. in the third quarter. Overall, Sears did post a smaller than expected loss. While changing khakis helped the Gap. The introduction of bright colors helping boost sales there. The retailer reporting a higher quarterly profit and raising its guidance for the year. Checking the shares of Gap now and Sears. Sears is down over 7% and the Gap is up about 3.5%. You could call it the baguette battle. It's France versus The Economist. Our Axel Threlfel joins us from London. The government is challenging the magazine's cover story, Axel, yes?
Yeah, absolutely, Lisa. The time bomb at the heart of Europe is how The Economist magazine, which we'll show you in just a sec. There you go. There's the front cover. It's how the magazine describes France in the latest edition. That's out today. It's got a cover picture to go with it, as you can see, just to rub it in a little bit more. Of course, this has incensed the French. Probably doesn't help that the magazine's used 7 baguettes, as you can see here, and that French tricolor ribbon to depict the dynamite, complete with a lit fuse. I mean, when we see a baguette, we think France, right? The piece raises concerns that President Hollande's economic reforms aren't ambitious enough, and it warns markets could turn against France and jeopardize the euro's future as well. Not easy on the French pride, I've got to say. The government, as you say, Lisa, has criticised The Economist's outdated analysis. Industry minister compared the magazine with a magazine called Charlie Hebdo, which is a satirical weekly magazine that many people don't take seriously. The guy who wrote the piece, by the way, is The Economist Europe editor John Peet. He came back with this quote: "The point of this cover," he said, "is to encourage France." A little bit school headmasterish, I think, that comment, and that probably won't help either, Lisa.
I hope no baguettes were harmed for that cover.
Absolutely not.
Axel, thanks so much. Ding Dong, the Twinkie is dead, and so is the Ding Dong. Hostess Brands, maker of both tasty treats, is turning off the ovens after 82 years and going out of business. The bankrupt company saying a recent strike by union workers is too much to overcome, crippling its ability to produce and deliver products. The Irving, Texas company filed a motion to liquidate assets and said it will lay off most of its 18,500 workers. Want to break into Hollywood? Who doesn't? Peddle a script about the David Petraeus scandal. Word is agents are doing lunch all over town to come up with a great rip from the headline script for theaters, maybe an HBO film, a follow-up book, you name it. Who to cast as the Army hero and ex-CIA chief? How about Willem Dafoe? No? Edgy actor Nicolas Cage? What, you were thinking more like the late great Mr. Furley? Don Knotts? He's hot, come on. All right. And finally, Imelda Marcos would be proud. Women and men in the Philippines raced to see who could strut their best in heels. About 100 runners celebrated the country's flourishing shoe industry by wearing at least 3-inch heels and running along a track in a test of balance and endurance and fashion. Cash prizes were awarded to the quickest and best runners. Athlete's foot? I don't know. Not quite. That's the latest in 3 Times Square this Friday. You can follow us on Twitter at Reuters Insider and check out our Reuters YouTube channel at Reuters.com/ReutersTV. I'm Lisa Bernhard. This is Reuters.